This is Trig 1, number 21, and it says if the secant of some angle equals 2, solve the triangle. And when it says solve the triangle, what that means is find all the angles and all the sides. All right, so we know the secant of the angle equals 2. We know the secant of some angle is the same thing as 1 over the cosine of that angle. And we know that the cosine is the adjacent over the hypotenuse. So we know the secant is the hypotenuse over the adjacent. So let's draw a triangle and pick some angle that's not the right angle. And if the secant is 2, and that's the hypotenuse over the adjacent, I can say that's 2 over 1, which I know then that the hypotenuse is 2 and the adjacent must be 1. So the hypotenuse is 2 and the side that's adjacent must be 1. And now I have to find out everything about this triangle. Well, first let's find this side, because if I know 2 sides of a right triangle, I can always find the third side using the Pythagorean theorem. So, I don't know, we'll call this A. So I'll have A squared plus 1 squared equals 2 squared. A squared plus 1 equals 4. A squared equals 3 if I subtract the 1. And A is going to be plus or minus the square root of 3, but of course the length can't be negative. So I know that this side is the square root of 3. All right, so now I know all 3 sides. Now I have to find the angle, and the only way I can find an angle is to use trig. So if I want to find this angle here, I can use sine, cosine, or tangent. It doesn't matter because I have all 3 sides. So I don't know, I like sine, so I'm going to say the sine of some angle equals the opposite, which is the square root of 3 over 2. If I want to find the angle, I always have to use the second button on my calculator. It's really finding the arc sine of the square root of 3 over 2 is going to equal the angle. So if I go to my calculator, go to my calculator, and I'm going to go second sine, and I'm going to type in the square root of 3 divided by 2. And I'm going to get 60 degrees. Now, you should have known that the sine of the square root of 3 over 2 is 60 degrees, because that's one of the ones I asked you to memorize. But in any case, you know, if this is 60 degrees, this one has to be 30 degrees because this is 90 degrees. And now I know all the angles and all the sides.